Learn to root online at your own pace in the comfort of your home. Visit the RebornArtistStudio.com for more details. Take your reborning to the next level by visiting eBorns on YouTube. This podcast is brought to you in part by Mott Gido. Visit mottandgido.com for all your kits and reborn supplies. Hi everyone, I'm Lizbeth Devlin from the Reborn Artist Studio.
And I'm Emily Elliott from Eborns.
And welcome to another edition of Reborn Rap.
Yeah, welcome you guys. It's been a while since we've seen you.
It has. Emily, are we going to talk about the rumors and the gossip that's going on?
We are. I'm tired of getting messages about it.
Yeah, so when we dropped the podcast down to just one podcast a month, it was because we were busy, but it sent a shockwave through the community.
I know.
We were getting messages left and right. Is everything okay between you two?
I know. I keep getting people. They're like, I want the tea. What happened? What's going on? I'm like,
What's
literally exactly what the post says.
It was kind of cute, actually. And Emily and I were joking because we were thinking of opening up the podcast and making it look like we weren't talking to each other. Yeah, what a tease. But no, it was just we are both really overwhelmed with the work that we're doing right now. And, you know, Emily's new products that came out just like blew up. And of course, she's working on some other products too. And it just it was just too much. Something had to give. And so we decided that we'd need to cut the podcast down to just one temporarily.
Yeah, we'll pick it back up as soon as we're able to. Like Lizbeth said, it was just a little bit too much. I have a lot going on personally also, and I know we're always saying this, but you know, you guys watch our hour, whatever, but so much goes into creating each episode. So doing it once a month has made it just a lot more manageable for us right now.
Yeah, and we'll be back. But speaking about the podcast, we have an announcement.
We do, an exciting one.
Thank you, guys. We made it to 1,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh, it's legendary.
I know. It was so exciting. If Lizbeth and I were in the same place, we'd be like holding hands, jumping up and down, squealing like little girls.
Fireworks.
Yeah.
The whole kit and caboodle. So thank you guys. We really appreciate it. I hope it's not because we dropped down to one episode a month. People are like, I'm going to start watching them now. Oh dear. But yeah, thank you for the support. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So what else is going on?
Well, I think I'm going to ask you first because it's been like a month and I feel like you have more to share.
I know, I'm bursting. So, this was the only downside to not having the last podcast because I had an announcement to make and I've had it for a little while, but I've been kind of nervous announcing it, but I got a prototype.
Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm super excited. I can't tell you where the prototype came from or the kit or the sculpt. But I have seen the sculpt and I just had an immediate connection with this kit. I'm super excited about it, but there'll be more information announced later. But yeah, broke the ice and got my first prototype. Yay!
I know. It's so amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just so thrilled for you because I don't know, when I had that feeling, I was like, I want everyone I know to have this feeling. Like, I'm just so proud of you. You're going to do an amazing, amazing job. And I can't wait till you can actually share. I think you guys will all be way more excited about it, like when you actually see the baby. So,
oh yeah, this is going to be a hot kit. It really is. So stay tuned for that.
I really cannot wait to see your version of that baby. If your baby Edith was anything to go by, I don't know if anyone else saw that.
Thank you.
I loved this baby.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Edith was not a kit I was going to paint, but I had a custom order for it. And once I started painting it, I was like, oh, I love this baby. And so I did actually get a couple of more kits, but she turned out really nice. I was really pleased with her. So
yeah, she's stunning. And she's sculpted by Cassie Ann Love, formerly Cassie Brace.
She is, yeah. I love her. I love her sculpts. Her sculpts are just gorgeous.
Me
She's
too.
an incredible sculptor. So, but yeah. And then I'm just working on some other customs. You know, I've got my clothing line that came in, and I'm still working on building some other videos for my course. So it's just been really busy. But speaking about busy, it's nothing compared to how you've been. Oh my Lord! Did you ever post that picture of all of the little pots that you had? Did you post that on Facebook? Oh my gosh.
But it was only one color of them because I don't have a big enough table to do all of them together. So
yeah, and we're talking about
it was just one batch. I had to do 3 of those for each color of those.
And we're talking about Emily's powdered nails sets, which have just blown up. Like everybody's talking about them. And I think just about every dealer is now carrying them. Is that correct?
Yeah, it has been amazing. Like I could not have predicted the response. I thought I'd have like a great response from people who follow me on YouTube. But it is amazing. I have people sending me photos all the time of nails they're doing that are just amazing. They've like struggled for years and they're like, I finally have realistic nails. But what comes with that is a lot of work, of course.
Yeah.
I've enlisted my husband, G, poor guy, but like we have done thousands of jars in just the last month. And yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
I am really excited. They're being carried at today's sponsor, Mott Gido in the UK.
That's right. Yep. And actually, I was reading up a little bit about Mott Gido, and she's actually located on a 600-year-old farm. The business was established in 2023, so it's kind of new, but she's doing incredibly well. They carry a lot of Reborn supplies in the UK, and I'm sure they ship to Europe as well.
Yeah, they're great. They have a loyalties program as well. If you guys want to check out my powder nails on their website, you can use coupon code eBorns for 10% off of your purchase.
Okay, and we hope to have the owner of Mott Gido on the show at some time because I think it's a pretty interesting story. She's super nice.
She is. I've been talking with her a lot, and I'm surprised. Like personally, we have a lot in common. Like I don't know, she just is awesome. I like her.
Yeah,
we have a lot of views that are the same that I'm not going to mention on the podcast, but.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You told me about that. Yeah, actually, and I follow her on Facebook, and she posts the funniest posts on her personal page.
Yeah.
So check out Mott Gido, and there'll be a link to their website, and of course a link to Emily's powdered nails sets. And if you haven't tried them yet, why? What are you waiting for?
Yeah, you'll like them. I have yet to find one person who was like, these suck, I'm not using them anymore.
Yeah. And they can be used on vinyl and silicone, correct?
Correct.
Fantastic.
Should I have said something else? I don't know.
I'm sorry, I could feel my voice going. I must be doing too much talking. So today we're going to cover an interesting topic. Just, we see a lot of people posting that their sales are going down. We're just going to talk about business and, keeping your business relevant. I was going to say relative, keeping your business relevant.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Emily's doing. Get that family to work for you.
Exactly. Slave labor.
Fill those pots with powder. Get to it. Anyway, we wanted to kind of talk a little bit about some stuff. So in the Reborn community, you might be somebody who's trying to develop a business, or you might be somebody that's just doing it as a hobby. So the topic that we're going to cover right now is more for somebody that is starting to get into a business or perhaps already has an established business, and just how to stay relevant, basically.
So one thing that's really important when you want to be successful in reborning is identifying what success looks like for you personally. It's impossible to get to where you want to go if you don't know where you need to go to get there.
Exactly. Yeah. So success might be for you, it might just be creating one doll a year to give to a friend or a family member. Or success could be, running a reborn business. It could be you might have goals set to become a prototype artist or to expand the business into other avenues.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, everybody is different. There's no right or wrong. You don't have to become a prototype artist. You don't have to do these things, but you just need to identify exactly what you want to do.
Right.
And that can evolve, of course.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you might start out painting and realize, as a hobby to give the dolls to friends and family and realize that you're good at it and think, oh, I'd like to expand this into a business. But for each individual person, success is going to be different. And so make sure you figure out what success looks like for you.
Yeah. And once you've figured out what it looks like to you, I think one of the most important things in the world, because I'm a planner, is coming up with a plan for yourself and your business.
Yep, absolutely. Setting plans and setting those goals. And there's a saying out there that a goal without a plan is just a wish. So make sure you're planning. I know Emily is a huge planner and she actually puts me to shame, but I'm actually a planner too. But I know that you tend to plan a way out further than I do.
Yeah, I plan out really far, like not only with my normal day-to-day business, like, I mean, my customs are, planned out over a year in advance, but also my overall business goals. Like from the moment I established my business, I knew I wanted to become a prototype artist. I thought that I would want to teach eventually, and I knew that I 100% wanted to have my own products. And I feel uncomfortable saying this, but I'll just be honest. I wanted to become a brand. That is my long-term goal. I want to be synonymous with reborning like a lot of my idols.
Yeah, perfect. And that's great. I mean, because you have that direction, you know where you want to go. And at the end of each year, you can look back and say, what goals did I achieve this year? And your long-term goals can be a little bit vague, but your monthly goals should be set. So you should know, we're coming it's April now. So you should already know what dolls you have planned to paint in May, or have a good understanding. I calculate out what customs I'm doing. I calculate what doll I might be doing that's not a custom order. And I actually have dates set for what time this doll will be finished and when that doll will be finished. And I try to stay within those time frames as much as possible. Sometimes life gets in the way, but I do have a plan, and I can also calculate what my income is going to be approximately for this particular month.
Yeah. And if you have a big plan of, say, you want to become a prototype artist, there are so many little tiny steps that you have to take until you get to that. So it's really important to identify it. So with every single business decision that you make, you can be strategic and make sure that if you're doing something, that you're doing it because it's getting you closer to your overall goal.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, if you decide that you would like to be a prototype artist by the end of the year, what does that look like? What is that going to take? What do you need to improve on? What skill sets do you need to work on? And how do you promote yourself in the community so that you're noticed, or so those sculptors can see you and you can be selected for a prototype? Some other people's goals may be doing this as a hobby right now, and perhaps they want to turn it into a full-time business. How do you get there? You need to know what steps that you need to take to get to that, and plan it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, talking about, turning this into a full-time business, the other thing that you need to be aware of is your margins. How much are you actually making? So if you sell an $800 doll, you're not making $800.
No.
So I wish,
Yeah, you're making this much of it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that we see in the community a lot is, I know that a lot of collectors think, oh, they just sold that doll for $1,500. That's $1,500 in their pocket. It's not. It's really not. And actually, the margins on reborning are quite small. Because people that sell the higher end dolls usually take longer to create them. So when you look at how long it takes them to create that doll, how many hours go into creating that doll, sometimes their margins are the same as somebody that makes a cheaper doll that makes it faster. you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And I think too, a lot of times people don't take time into consideration at all. So they
No.
think they're making a profit, but they're not paying themselves any sort of wage at all.
Right.
So when, if you're at a beginner level, you're selling a doll for $500, you take all your supplies, say it took you 3 weeks to create, you're going to end up paying yourself like you're making 2 cents an hour or something.
Yeah.
Not that bad, but if you break it all down and really look at it, you're not making what you should be making.
Right, exactly. And the other thing too is your time doesn't only just go into creating those dolls. The time goes into marketing the dolls, and even the expenses. If you have the doll listed on certain websites and you're paying a monthly fee on that website, so you need to sit down and calculate exactly how much it costs you to create a doll. You might buy a kit for $120. The supplies that you use to, stuff the doll and fill the doll, that might be another $10 to $15. You may be sending home an open box, calculate out how much the open box is, whether you pay for shipping. I mean, all that kind of stuff. So the actual, and it's actually, when you do an expense report or a profit and loss sheet, that would be considered the cost of goods. So you need to calculate out your cost of goods and make sure you know what your margins are. And then, of course, there's the time involved in creating the doll. So make yourself a little profit and loss sheet and figure out what your margins actually are on the dolls.
Yeah, and you need to really pay attention to everything that you're using. I see a lot of people, they're like, oh, the kit was, $129. So that's my cost. They're not looking at not only the things Lizbeth just said, but the cost of electricity, running your ovens, wear and tear on your paintbrushes, things like that we need to replace. Any weighting material, glues, like all of those little purchases that you don't really pay attention to because they're like, $10-20, but over time those add up and you need to know what you're spending.
Yeah, exactly. And I am so specific about my costs that I even, right off, when I take that package and drive to the post office, I calculate my mileage. So
I don't do that. You're great.
Well, that's my accountant, and so like at the end of the year, we have to pay taxes on this business. And I love my accountant. He's absolutely fantastic because what I bring in and what goes out and the taxes I have to pay are really good. I think if I went anywhere else, I'd be paying a lot more taxes. Shh, don't tell anyone that. No one from the IRS is watching this one.
You want to hear something awful, not related to this, but it's like April 1st. Taxes are due April 15th. I haven't even started my taxes. I'm our accountant. And not only that, but we move towards the end of the year. I have no idea where 3/4 of my paperwork, like I only have stuff from September onward here. I don't know where the rest is. I'm going to have to do my taxes. And make sure you do your taxes if you're running a reborn business.
Yes, exactly.
It is vitally important that you do your taxes.
Yeah. So you've got 2 different states that you'll be paying taxes.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how that works. Maybe it'll just be Ohio because I lived there longer than 6 months.
Oh, you might need my accountant.
I might.
But, like every time you go to the grocery store and you pick up a pair of baby socks, that's an expense. So make sure that you're keeping track of all those expenses. So, I was actually surprised when I did my tax return this year because I've already done mine.
Of course you have.
And I had spent $1,400 on shipping. And if somebody said to me, how much do you think it costs you in shipping? I would have said $300-400. So when I saw that $1,400, I was blown away. And I I did know it was going to be that much because I do keep track from month to month. I'm very analytical. So I like watching, lines on charts and stuff like that too. I can't help it. It's just who I am.
Every year I tell myself next year, I'm going to tally all these receipts up every single month. I'm going to put the totals in all of my folders. And then every year I end up with a drawer. I'm so organized in every other area of my life. But for some reason, when I'm getting a package, I'm just throwing my receipts over there to deal with later, and later never comes.
That's really interesting. That kind of blows me away because you are really organized. Okay, you're going to die when I tell you this. I already have March's costs in my profit and loss sheet.
I hate you.
That's interesting. See, that's why we make such a good team.
Maybe I'll start sending you all my receipts since you enjoy it so much.
We have to keep each other on track. Anyway. All right. So not only the money counts, customer service counts. So customer service and reputation. And reputation is everything. In the Reborn. Yeah, in the Reborn community. So we're going to talk about that just a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like I should just stress that again. Your reputation in the Reborn community 100% makes a difference between you being a failure and you being a success.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. And I see people destroying their own reputations on Facebook. And I don't even think, I'm sure they're not aware that they're actually doing it, but we're going to cover a couple of things that we see that we think damages reputations. So the first thing is watch those posts. And I'm not talking about the posts that you make for your Reborn page. I'm talking about responding to posts. Look, when you respond to a post, it's not only the people that are also responding to the post that are reading it. There's other people reading your responses to posts.
Like me.
Yeah.
I rarely respond, but I'm always reading them.
Yeah.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, exactly. And I do that too. I respond to some of them, but I read a lot of them. And sometimes I'm shocked that a well-known artist or somebody who's trying to grow their business are responding to some of these posts. And the post that we're going to talk about, like the one that we see that just bothers me so much, do not post that your dolls are not selling. Okay. That is a useless post because what it does is it tells the community that you're struggling, that your dolls aren't selling. And I don't know if there's anybody out there that wants to buy something that no one else wants to buy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 100% what you're telling people. No one wants my work, so you shouldn't either. I'm gonna laugh saying this, I think, but it's a great saying. Like, if you're not gonna sell yourself, nobody else will sell you. And,
exactly.
And I'm gonna laugh because it's an inside joke. Somebody might, but you don't want them to.
Yeah, exactly. And if somebody else is posting that, don't chime in. Oh, I can't sell my dolls neither, and I haven't sold one since 2022 or something like that. Their buyers are constantly watching that.
Yeah,
and what they're reading is the work that I make has so little value that nobody wants to buy it. So I'm on here complaining about it.
Yeah.
Stop doing those posts. Stop it. And the biggest thing about that too is, I'm successful, and I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but my reborning business is successful. Emily's is really successful. We would never respond to that post. And a lot of successful artists won't respond to it. So what it looks like it's all one-sided. Like the market's terrible, the market's dying, the market's going, it's tanking. You also are worrying collectors because collectors are thinking, I don't want to buy another Reborn doll if the industry's failing, because if I want to sell it, I'm not going to be able to resell it. Yeah. Stop it.
And you're also telling them with your post that even if they don't assume it's the industry, they're going to assume it's your work. They're not going to want to buy it because reselling is a huge part of the Reborn community. Mm-hmm. And they don't want a baby from an artist who they think no one wants their work.
Right, exactly. And the industry is not dying. The industry is changing. And it's like any industry out there, it will go through these changes. It's usually every 7 years, an industry will change. And it starts changing towards another direction. And this is where you lose people. And then the strong people that are continually watching what's going on, those are the ones that are successful and can continue to thrive. It's just a natural attrition. You have artists coming and artists going. I'm definitely not ready to walk away from the Reborn industry because my business is doing well. And I know you're not. And I know several artists that are in the same boat as we are.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think I have a different outlook on it, but I think it's an exciting time to be in the reborn industry. Like, for the first time in the history of reborns, there are literally millions and millions of people. You can see by people's subscriber numbers, you can see by video views. There are now millions of people who know what a reborn is
Yep.
and who want reborns.
Yep. Yeah.
Which brings in, of course, new artists, because they're like, oh, that's cool, I want to do that. But it is bringing in a lot more collectors, and you need to learn how to reach those new collectors.
Exactly. Well, we had Kelly Maple on the show a couple of months back, or whatever it was, and she's got 2.6 million followers. So as long as there's 2.6 million people interested in reborns, there's always going to be a market for them. So make sure you're on the right end of the market and watch that customer service.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess, that kind of made me think too of, speaking of customer service, just how you treat people. I know we've talked about this a lot. Are people posting about time wasters? And every time I see a time waster post, I cringe, because I'm like, where's your customer service? There are no time wasters.
No, and I'm really passionate about this one, because I just cannot stand it when I see a post with people saying, oh, time wasters. I have never, ever considered anybody that's reached out to me as a time waster. Time wasters, as you call them, are often telling you where you're falling. So if you've got 20 people messaging you, asking you, oh, can I see a picture of the front on of the baby? That's not a time waster. That's somebody telling you you've posted the wrong pictures. If people are messaging you, asking you for a price, it's not a time waster. Post the prices in your post. How can you create a sales post and not put a price on it? It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
And I did a survey a couple of years back, and because a lot of people will post like, message me for the price, and I wanted to see what are collectors, what's their opinion of that, and do people message? Do you know that 78% of people that see a listing that says message me for a price will not respond to it? 78. So out of 10 people, 8 of those people are not going to message you to find out the price. And the saddest thing about this was the number one reason that people didn't reach out and ask you for a price was that they believed that the artists were changing the price, and they were basically out to con people. I've got nothing to hide. My reputation is everything. This is the price of my doll. If you can't afford it, that's fine. If you can afford it, let me know,
Absolutely. I know. I see that. I don't know. I just want to drive home what you're saying. Like, the people that are asking you for multiple pictures, it means you're either not posting enough photos, or you're not posting all of the photos, the face, hands, feet, details, creases, all sides of the hair, like everything. And, I also see too, which kind of upsets me. People will post, oh, I had this awful time waster. They messaged me, they asked me all these questions, they asked me for like a little video, or for all these things. They told me they were looking at a few different dolls, and then they didn't buy my doll, so they totally wasted my time. Like, that's not true, because they picked another one. I can't even tell you, over the course of my career, how many people I have had message me that didn't end up buying a doll from me at that time, but a year down the road, 2 years down the road, they send me a message, they're buying a baby. I look up at our previous message, and whoa, I already talked to them a while back. Or, maybe they couldn't afford your work, maybe something happened, but maybe their friend is looking for a reborn, and they're like, oh, this girl is so nice, go check out her stuff. Like, if you think collectors aren't telling each other when you're a jerk to them, you are crazy. Like, they 100% are. No one wants to deal with a jerk.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had that happen to me too. And I feel like, as an artist in the community and having knowledge of the reborns, that when somebody reaches out to me, so often these people just want answers to questions. I mean, you go on Facebook and tons of these collectors get scammed. So they're nervous about buying. You have no right to treat them the way you're treating them. You want to make them feel comfortable. And if that means sending them 50 pictures that you should have already taken before you even went to list the doll, then, send them the pictures. And if someone comes to me and they're looking for a reborn doll and I'm not in their price range, I don't consider that as a time waster. What I'll do is I will say, hey, you know what? I know this artist. She's really good. You're in her price range. If you want to reach out to her, she's trustworthy in the community. And these collectors love that I send them to, a lot of the time they're shocked, but love that I send them, to another artist, because to me, it's my responsibility to make sure that I guide this person into a safe purchase. It's no loss to me if somebody comes to me and wants to buy a doll for $600 and I don't have one for $600 and it's not my price range. I haven't lost anything by sending this person to somebody that is in that price range.
Yeah. And I know this is kind of outside of the scope of what we're talking about, but it just kind of also speaks to connecting with other artists, seeing them as your coworkers, not your competition. Yeah. There's a better word for that. My mind kind of went blank right then. Sorry about that. But that kind of stuff is reciprocal. Like I have a good core group of friends. Most of them sell in the same range as me. I'm not doing customs anymore in 2026. I know I keep saying it because I'm so excited about it, but I still have people right now. I have people that contact me at least once a week wanting a custom. I'm not taking new customs. I need to have people that I know and trust that I can refer these customers to. And it works both ways when people don't have time, or getting to know people, like Lizbeth said, that sell in lower price brackets, so that you have someone who is trustworthy, so that a potential new reborn collector isn't turned off of the reborn industry completely because they end up being scammed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So make sure your customer service is on point. And then it's like kind of along those lines, let's talk about this other thing that I see too. That's on the time wasters. I sent somebody the payment information and they didn't buy the doll. And look, get over that, okay? Because this is how I see it in my book. That doll is not sold until that payment is received. So if somebody comes to me and tells me that, hey, I want to buy your doll, and I send them the payment information, first thing I tell them is the doll's available until payment's received. And I still advocate for that doll. And if that person comes back and somebody's bought the doll, in between, that's their loss. But I'm not going to take the post down. I'm not going to go packing up the doll thinking, oh, this person's going to pay me in a minute, then get frustrated when I don't receive the payment, and then get angry and make a post again, a post that collectors will be reading. That you got to run this like a business. It's like you go to a clothing store, you try on clothing. It's not a sale until you pass the money over to the cashier.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that analogy or that comparison also.
Yeah.
Because it kind of goes into the same thing with time wasters. You go, you like something that looks beautiful. It looks great on the rack. You try it on. It's just not for you. You're not going up to the counter. I'm so sorry, but I don't want this. What do 99% of the people do? They just ignore it and go somewhere else or get something else.
Yeah, exactly. And they're not on social media posting about this person that tried on some outfits and walked out the store and ghosted them. So run the business properly, and remember, everything you're posting, everybody's reading it. So
and there's a record of it.
Yes.
Can I touch on that without sounding too negative? I love the Reborn community. There's some amazing people in the Reborn community. The Reborn community can also be a very petty place to be. And no matter what you are saying, trust me, there is at least one person out there screenshotting it. You have no idea when these screenshots are going to pop up. If I can't say if you upset the wrong person at some point. So conduct yourself like you're being watched, because you are being watched by people. Not just customers, but your fellow Reborn community that can be an asset or a hurt to you, honestly, at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Great points there.
So another really important thing, especially when the market is down a little bit, is staying current and being flexible. You need to see what is selling out there, what people are buying. kind of customer trends, I guess, really.
Yeah. Yeah. And you wouldn't think necessarily that there are trends in reborning, but oh boy, there are.
Oh, yeah.
When I started back in 2020, nobody was doing like the heavy textures, and there's a lot of products that have come out since then that people are using. So watch what people are buying. And make sure you're keeping up with it, because if you've been in reborning for 5-10 years, and you're still creating the same babies that you were making 10 years ago, the market's going to move away from you. You're going to get lost.
Like reborning even 10 years ago was so much different. I feel like we're in the age of information everywhere, but especially reborning, the level of realism now that's expected and the talent level, because there are just anybody can learn. There are classes, there are resources, there's all this stuff where you can learn how to reborn amazing babies. So I feel like that is a big difference when, 10 years ago, I felt like there's some good talent, but the majority of reborns didn't look like they look today.
Yeah, I even think going back to like 5 years ago when I started, like 2020, the improvement in, or the realism in reborns has just skyrocketed. And it is from tutorials. It has to be from tutorials, because people aren't learning that. Well, maybe some people are learning that themselves, but most of this is coming from tutorials. And I know that we talk about tutorials a lot. And I know that when people come and do my course, I hear this all the time, which makes me feel really proud. Is that when they finish doing the course, they're getting more money for their babies because they're learning how to root properly. And so they're investing that little bit of money in themselves too. And I still do courses, I'm 5 years out. My business is doing well, but I'm never at the point where I finish learning. So, stay relevant. And the best way to stay relevant is to do those courses.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be involved in social media, I'm not a social media person. I don't like it. And you don't like it. I don't know anyone really that loves it, but it is so important when you're running a business, like not only for your actual business, but to stay current on what people are liking, looking at posts, like which reborn posts have a ton of views and likes, and like all of that kind of engagement, because it can really help you plan, what type of sculpts you want to paint to sell, what type of effects are you wanting to do cleaner complexions or more blemished, which are very in right now, and to make some adjustments to help you if you're not as successful right now as you want to be.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. Make sure that you're following all those successful artists and see what they're doing. Like, what are they doing? Or if you know somebody that's selling dolls quickly, what are they doing that's allowing them to sell those dolls quickly? And I've noticed this, like the logarithm on Facebook has changed drastically, because my page right now is stagnant. It's just not moving at all. And there would be a time where I would boost and my page would grow. And I think I boosted, maybe about 6 months ago, I boosted and I got nothing, like no growth at all. So, that's something else that I need to look into and find out what is happening. I just actually became, is it certified? What do they call it?
Verified?
Verified, sorry.
Welcome to the club. I'm verified also.
I don't know that it's on the page yet, because I just did it.
It takes like a week.
Does that? Yeah, because I was reading up about the logarithm and the change, because I'm always doing research. I'm always on YouTube watching videos and reading stuff. One of the things that they were saying is that the verified pages are getting more exposure than the non-verified pages, and I'm going to experiment with that and see is actually true. It's about $14.99.
They do say it's one of their perks.
Yeah. So it's $14.99 a month. Not that I'm telling everybody to get verified, but my point is, look around and look at the trends, what's going on, and just I'm going to see if that's going to help my exposure a little bit. But I have noticed that if I don't post anything for about a month on my doll page, when I do post something, I get 1 or 2 comments.
Oh, yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, but if I'm consistently, then I get a lot of interactions. And it's terrible, because we're having to spend so much time on social media to be relevant and to stay current.
Yeah, it can really, really help you though when, the market kind of slows down. When you have this built in base of followers that love your work, they want your work, they're waiting for your work, which I think reborns are usually a little bit more desirable because you can't like pump out a quality reborn. You can't do like, a baby a week or,
Right.
they take time. So when you have that base of people waiting, it makes sales so much easier.
Yeah, it does. And it's not just, don't just post a finished baby. People like to see the work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
So show that gradual, you painted and you're getting to the hair and do, doing that kind of stuff because they love seeing that. They're like, especially
They
if they're
do.
not painters themselves, they like to see that growth and how that, that vinyl kit turns into a baby.
That's actually where most of my sales come from is posting
Mine
work in
too.
progress.
Yeah, mine too, actually. I'll usually, before I start rooting, I'll post a picture of the baby. And that's when people start messaging me asking if she's available. So, yeah.
I always worry because I post like, the whole progress because I'm always struggling for content because I do so much on YouTube that I'm just like exhausted when I hit the other platforms. So all I can muster really is some photos. And then I was looking at my photo album last week and it's like all these almost blank looking babies. And I'm going, oh dear. I hope if someone just goes to my photos to see my work, they're not like, oh, she sucks. These babies barely look painted.
Well, and that's a part of it. You've got to look back at yourself and make sure that you're doing, what it takes to continually grow that following. And, can I just talk about a friend of mine? So Tina from Hand Painted Reborns. So she's a fairly new artist, and I've been nagging her like crazy. Get your following up. Get your following up. And she's like, she hates social media. Doesn't want to be on social media, and she's finally starting to get her following up. And I mean, I think she's about 1,000 followers on Facebook, and she's also had this slow time with the dolls and stuff like that. But she hit nearly, I think, 1,000 followers, and she's had 5 custom orders come in, like but within a week. So that following is, and she posts a lot, and that's how she got the following. And that following has led to her being able to get the custom orders. So it does
like a
work.
Snowball, I feel like.
I know.
When you don't have any followers, you don't get any followers. Then you start, like once you hit 1,000, suddenly, it's picking up momentum. And if you don't capitalize on that momentum and keep posting, it completely halts. I have been like so overwhelmed. I haven't really posted much on Facebook in months. I've been stuck at, I don't even know exactly. I think like 7,800 or something like that. I have been stuck there forever. Like, I know that if I just, started posting every day, I have friends that post like 3 times a day. I think it's too much. I can't do it. But
yeah, I can't.
But every day posting, like you will get the numbers. It just takes a while. It's not overnight.
Yeah, exactly. It's a slow boat. So, but you got it. But you've got to stick with it. And every time I was telling Tina, keep doing it, keep doing it. I know she was probably thinking I was just making it up. It's not working. It's not working. But it definitely does work. And, social media is so important.
Reborning really is. This just made me think of that. Like, it is really kind of such a frustrating career choice, isn't it? It's nothing is overnight. It takes you years to build your skill level up. It takes years to build your reputation, your business, your social media following. Like, reborning is not for the impatient. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. The learning, the social media, everything. It's just, it is a slow, and it takes a while to get there,
Slow and steady wins the race though. Like, you can be so successful. Like, you can have a thriving reborn business. You can 100% support yourself. I get tired of seeing posts like that too, where people are like, oh no, reborning, you can never be successful. Like, you can't run this as a business. You can, but you have to work your butt off and you have to do the right things.
Yeah, and it's definitely not going to be a 40-hour week
No.
because we work 7 days a week and we're on social media when we're not painting and not, doing all the other stuff too. So it's definitely not for the faint of heart. It's really not. And when I see people posting, can I make this a reborn business? Can I make it successful? And you see all those naysayers. No, you can't. I mean, you can't measure yourself with somebody else's ruler. You have to know the people, you know yourself. If you're somebody that starts something and then gives up on it and maybe, over and over again, then maybe reborn is not for you. But the people that are responding to those posts, you don't know their background. They might be exactly the same. They might be somebody that's never succeeded at anything, or maybe they're making really bad dolls and they're listing them for ridiculous prices. So just know who you are. If you're somebody that puts in the time and is dedicated, then yes, you absolutely do have a chance to make this a full-time business.
I love that too. It's like reborning is an area too. It's slow, it's frustrating, it takes a long time, but you 100% get back what you put in. Like if you do work hard, if you invest in yourself, you take classes, you practice, you pay attention to what you're saying, you build your social media following up, are friendly with good people that have good reputations in the community, you put out quality work and you interact, like all of these things, any reborn goal you have will come true. Like I feel like exactly. I'm a great example. I was, I know I said my goals at the beginning when we were talking about this, but look at me. I'm almost 10 years old. I'm a prototype artist. I have products. I sell my dolls for $2,000. I have year-long waiting lists. Like if I were to have looked at what's my image of success back then, it's me now. I still have other things. I have a way to go. But you can do it if you do it right.
Yeah, exactly. And I came in here from running other people's businesses and I had the business head on and how do you make a business grow? And it's a lot of work. And I tell you something, growing the reborn business has been a lot harder than growing other people's businesses because it's such a niche market.
Absolutely.
And it's a temperamental market. It really is, and there's a lot of competition, but you can do it. If you want to put the work in, you can do it. And you don't have to see the full staircase to take the first step. So you know how successful you can be.
Absolutely. And I hope we can bring you more tips, tell you what to do, boss you around a little bit for your own good in the future.
Slap you around. Yeah. Behave yourself out there, people, if you want to be successful. Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, I hope we weren't too brutal. Do you think we were a little bit brutal?
No. I think we're perfect always.
Of course.
I can do no wrong. My mother-in-law tells G that when he complains about me, she's like, I don't believe it for a moment. Not Emily. she's so wonderful.
Butter melt in her mouth. Well, Missy, it's that time of the show. We've done really good.
Now we can say it's that time of the month.
Oh my God. Okay,
how old am I? No, like 12?
No, not for me anymore.
Damn you.
Oh, life is good at this point. Well, and we didn't fight with each other neither.
I know. Remember we were supposed to do a little something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the Reborn. Yeah, I know. We never fight, actually, do we?
No.
We haven't had a fight.
We've had heated conversations.
Yeah,
but not
usually
fights.
Usually you apologize and we're good.
Yeah, just like my last apology on the show.
She realizes the error of her ways. We're on the same page with a lot of stuff. Actually, we really are. So it been really good.
Easy. Yeah,
it sure does. And we're on the same page politically too, which makes it easier. But we're not allowed to talk about that.
No.
So okay.
That'll be our other podcast where we have black masks on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, and we have a really, really exciting podcast coming up. Oh my God, the most requested celebrity. I'm going to call her a celebrity is coming on our show.
Oh, she's going to be so embarrassed. Oh my gosh.
I know she will be.
She will.
Oh yeah. Bobbi.
Yes, Bobbi Barfoot from Truborns will be coming on. We'll be discussing the upcoming Dolls of the World Expo show in North Carolina.
Yeah. And if you've been following the podcast, you've probably heard Bobbi's name mentioned several times because she has helped so many new artists become prototype artists. She's helped so many new sculptors become sculptors. It's going to be a really interesting interview with her. So stay tuned to hear all about Bobbi Barfoot.
Yeah, and don't forget to visit mottandgido.com. All of our links will be in the description. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe to us if you're not already subscribed. And thank you guys for all your support thus far.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, as I always say, be kind to each other out there. Be nice. We want to see some nice posts. Celebrate those artists. Celebrate those sculptors.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
It's chopper time.
Okay.
All right.
Ready? You're hitting your mic.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I can't see you.
I can see you. All right.
Okay. Reborn Rap.
That's a wrap. Why?
I couldn't see if that works.
Do I have like a really long torso? Hold yours up. How come I can see through mine do I have a really long? Oh my gosh.
Because you're further away from the screen than I am.
It's not my neck. Is that what it is?
No, it's because you're further away from the screen.
I feel like it looks so like it could be like just my head is right here. It's my long hair. It's the illusion.
Yes, dear. All right, guys. Thank you for watching another show. Stay tuned and check out those comments for all the links that we've mentioned. Have a great day, and we will catch up with you later.